Hi everyone, I'm Marcy, and today I'm making tamale pie. This is a recipe that was recently requested, and I'm happy to share it because I haven't made it in a really long time. I don't know why, I guess I just forgot about it, but it's really good, and best of all, it's so much easier than making actual tamales. A lot of people make tamale pie using a cornbread topping, and I've done that in the past. In fact, I think I have like 3 different recipes for tamale pie. The one I'm using today is the one that I like the most because it's closest to the flavor profile of tamales because I use Masa Harina. Masa Harina is a corn masa flour, and the brand that I use is Maseca. You'll be needing 2 cups. You'll also be needing 1 teaspoon baking powder, 1 teaspoon salt. You'll need half a cup of your fat, whatever kind you want to use. If you really want to be authentic, you can use lard. I'm going to be using half a cup of butter, which I'll be melting. You can also use vegetable oil. Then you'll need about 1.5 cups of chicken broth. We may be using a little bit more or a little less when we get to that point, but we'll see. Then for the meat, you'll need 1 pound of lean ground beef. You'll need about half an onion chopped, a couple of cloves of garlic. You'll need 1 can of corn that we're going to drain first. You can get either yellow or white corn. You'll need 1 can of tomatoes. They should be crushed. Unfortunately, what I have here is petite diced, but it'll still be fine. You'll need about 1/4 cup of hatch green chili, all chopped up. And then for your spices, 1 tablespoon red chili powder, 1 tablespoon cumin, and salt to taste. For me, that's about 1 teaspoon. And then finally, some grated cheese. So before we get started though, I'm gonna grab an apron today, only because I've got to show it off. My friend Olivia just got back from Mexico and she brought me this from Guanajuato, and I thought it was just so beautiful because it's actually embroidered in there. So I'm gonna wear that. And by the way, if you want to know who Olivia is, she's the one that I went on that recent hike to Sedona with, so you can check out that video. But let's go ahead and get started. In a large skillet with just a little bit of olive oil in it, I'm going to brown my ground beef. And I just break it up as it cooks. I then push the meat to one side so that I can add in the chopped onion and let that get some frying time. When the onion starts to get translucent, I'll go ahead and add in the minced garlic, along with the can of crushed tomatoes, the corn, the hatch green chili, and all my seasonings. That's the red chili powder, the cumin, and the salt. I'll mix everything together and let it all cook down for another 5 to 10 minutes. I can actually smell the chili in mine because that red chili powder that I used, I got in Hatch, and it's actually a little hot, but it's really good. Now, if you wanted yours to have more of a tomato base, you can add a couple of tablespoons of tomato paste. Also, if you want it just a little more runny, you can add a little water. If you want it a little thicker, you can add some cornstarch. But this is the consistency that I like. So go ahead and take a look because this is done. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the burner and let it cool for a bit. Now we can get started with the corn masa. In a large bowl, I'm putting in 2 cups of Masa Harina, followed by the baking powder and the salt. I'll give it a quick mix to combine. Then I'll add in the melted butter and get it all incorporated until it looks crumbly, like this. Now it's time to add in the chicken broth a little at a time. And at this point, I'll switch to mixing with my hands because I want to feel the consistency in order to determine how much chicken broth to put in. I'll keep adding until the masa all sticks together smoothly. Masa Harina really absorbs the liquid, so even though it looks like it's too much chicken broth, it will all be absorbed. I'm definitely going to use the full 1.5 cups. Now I'll set it aside and prepare my 9 by 13 inch baking dish. I'm spraying it with nonstick cooking spray, making sure it gets coated on all sides. Then I can pour in the meat and spread it evenly all across the bottom. Next, I'll spread a layer of grated cheddar cheese on top of the meat. This is probably about a cup, but you can add more or less if you choose. Then I'll drop spoonfuls of the corn masa on top and carefully spread it. This part requires a little patience. In fact, I'm going to switch to using my offset spatula and just take my time spreading and forming an even layer all across the top. Finally, I'll sprinkle with just a little extra cheddar cheese on top. And this is mostly just for looks, and I'll place it in the oven to bake at 350 degrees for 30 minutes until golden brown. This looks and smells so good. What I'm going to do though is let it cool for about 5 to 10 minutes just so that it sets nicely when we cut into it. Okay, I think I've waited long enough. I'm going to cut myself a nice big piece. And this goes so good with sour cream or Mexican crema if you've got some. So I'm going to drizzle a little on here. And now we taste. That is really good. The meat is so flavorful with the corn and the little spicy kick, but not overly spicy. But what makes it is the masa. It's so close to what you would have with a tamale and so delicious. I think your family is really going to love this. Very good. Thanks so much for checking out this video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. I also invite you to follow me at Marcy Inspired on Instagram and Facebook. Until next time, blessings from my kitchen to yours.